Hello YouTube and welcome back to the second half of our anime double feature. We are going from the classic anime Eureka 7 to the utterly ridiculous anime A Certain Magical Index. Now, genre. This is pretty much the epitome of a harem comedy. And harem comedies are, well, it's tough to explain if you've never watched one. They are basically, there's a main character and he is basically having his life disrupted as a billion women throw themselves at him in various humiliating fashion. That's how they work. Everyone hates them because they're garbage, but everyone loves them at the same time, and that's why everyone keeps making them, because they sell. Now, this is the classic example of that. There are 100 women, all of which are like in 8th grade all the time, throwing themselves at the main character, Toma, who is constantly putting himself and constantly ending up in ridiculous situations. Now, so, let's get all right. World. This takes place in Academy City for the 99% of the episodes. It is basically a city that is, its full purpose is to raise, it's all about science and training new espers, they call them. Espers are the height of scientific study. They are people who have, through the use of science and chemistry and crazy computer, given themselves superpowers, basically. And they are one half of the coin that makes up this anime. On the other side, you have magic and people who can do sorcery things and summon fire, and it's all very interesting and archaic and weird. And the duality of that is what makes up this show, or at least the clashing forces between the sorcerers, who for some reason are always associated with the church, and science, who is always associated with weird experiments and doing weird things. So, characters. Main character and the hero of the show is Toma. He is, again, a average 16-year-old boy without any particular talents, other than he does have one interesting esper power. He can negate anyone else's power by touching it with his right hand. That's all he can do. He can't shoot fire out of his eyes. He can't make weird lightning bolts. All he can do is negate other people's powers. That's the one thing he does. And he has a ridiculous hero complex where he's always trying to save people from everything all the time. Second main character, Index. I don't think she has an actual name. She's actually this hundreds-of-year-old girl who's trapped in her adolescent years because of some weird magical spell thing that they never really explain. But basically, she is a repository of all of the spell books that the world has ever known, and she can remember them all instantly. And she is cursed to carry all these evil books around in her head, which for some reason never really affect her. But for everyone else that reads them, they just sort of start bleeding from the eyes and die. So that is her thing, and she gets picked up in the first episode, and she's always following Toma around and pretty much eating everything and biting his head for some reason that I've never figured out. But, so, those are the main characters. Other main characters. You've got Masaka, who is an 8th grader, and she is the most powerful esper in the city, and she is known for taking coins out of her pocket and making them into railguns, where she just blows shit apart and crushes whole buildings and blocks and just pretty much destroys everything around her. Steel is a sorcerer from the Church of England who does fire magic-y stuff. Masaka has a bunch of clones. It explains later that she actually has 20,000 clones. But the 20,001st clone, called the Last End, is sort of a special character. She controls all the other clones while hanging out with Accelerator, who is another one of the main characters. Accelerator's an esper, and he can change the vector of anything that touches him and multiply it. So he's pretty much invulnerable to everything, because anything that touches him, he just makes reflect onto whoever uses it and explodes them. So that pretty much covers the cast. Now, the writing. This is a harem comedy. It's bad. It is contrived and awful, and women are always taking their clothes off for no reason. And like I said, there's a bunch of quasi-nudity situations with girls who are really underage, and it is, like I said, it is everything that is bad about anime rolled into one. It is utterly and completely ridiculous. Now, with that said, I found the show completely fucking hilarious. I laugh my ass off at every single episode. Yes, it is awful. Yes, that probably makes me a terrible person, but I found the show completely freaking funny. Now, again, this show and Eureka 7 are complete opposites. This show is not trying to make you ask the deep questions. It's not trying to do anything except make you laugh and probably give 13-year-old boys boners. But that is fine, because it is funny. Really freaking funny. Now, rating. I cannot give this show anything more than a 5. Like I said, it is everything that is wrong with anime as a genre. But, like I said, it is still worth the watch if you're just looking for something to make you laugh. And you have never, your sense of humor has never evolved past 7th or 8th grade like mine has. It will make you laugh. It is ridiculously funny. But like I said, not because it is good, not because it's well written, but because it is utterly ridiculous. And it knows it's utterly ridiculous and does not try to be anything else. So, 5, the lowest score I've ever given anything, but I would still recommend watching it if you're just looking for something to make you laugh, because this will do that. That's it for our anime double feature, and that is it for A Certain Magical Index. Be sure to tune in for more of the stuff we got coming up. Like and subscribe if you want to, if anyone actually watches this, which you better. And thank you for staying until after the credits.